Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Hello. We're going to start. We have a bit of a program. Hello, hello. Can I get your attention, please? We need to make a start. We have 38 years worth of things to cover, and it might be tough. We have a big program. Well, big program. We have an important program. We have a lot to honor today. And my name is Joel Lohr. I am the president here at Hartford Seminary. It is really an honor to see so many of you here today to honor our dear Roseann Lezak, who's currently directing people what they should be doing and where they should be standing. Well done, Rose, as usual. That's what's great about Rose. I'm going to say a few words first. We have a number of people who are going to speak on behalf of trustees and faculty and staff. We have a few fun things and a few surprises for Rose that I hope she will enjoy. I really wanted to write out some words because I was worried that I might miss something in my words today. And so I've written... She did email me and tell me what I needed to say today. No. I have a few things I just want to make sure I say, and so I've written them out, and I have a few things I'm going to add at the end too. It's hard to put into words what we are attempting to do here today. How does one thank, indeed begin to even talk about thanking and acknowledging someone's 38 years of service? But then on top of it all, how does one possibly say some kind of goodbye to a person who lives out and embodies the mission of Hartford Seminary in her every step, and to which she has given her all. She has given her all to this place at Hartford Seminary, and you've given everything to us here. This is your life. I'm a little worried about separation anxiety.
It's Marvin's turn. 20 years of
Marvin will finally get a chance to see his wife. Rose, over 38 years, you have worked with 5 presidents, a number of interim presidents. You've worked with numerous deans and faculty members and staff. You've served as Director of Human Resources, along with Facilities, for 18 years. And you've drafted many of the forms, the policies, the handbooks, the procedures, security procedures that are still active and make us safe today. As Facilities Director, you supported 2 capital campaign initiatives and coordinated many, many, many major projects. You oversaw the renovation of 4 office buildings. You converted and renovated rental units to student housing. You updated numerous kitchens and bathrooms, lots of them. This is a lot of work, actually. I know because I've done this work. You've overseen the repair of many roofs. You make sure the roofs stay watertight. You've helped make waterproof basements waterproofed. You've worked on overseen the operation of too many sump pumps, I would say. You have kept up the 17 structures that are Hartford Seminary's home. You've made thousands of calls, thousands of them, just to make sure that the snow is plowed so that people can enter the building. You've opened up buildings personally. You've called people to do so. You've called and cleaned up messes yourself to make sure that we can be Hartford Seminary. These are not little things. These are really important things, and I just want to acknowledge those things that no one ever saw that you did. I want to acknowledge them here today. Thank you, Rose. Perhaps more than anything, you have provided numerous people, including my own family, myself, my wife Teresa, and Avia, with a home. You've provided numerous students on campus not only with a roof over their heads, but a place to call home. Home. How important is a home? You've invited students into your own home, into Marvin's home, numerous times. You've driven students to the hospital, to the airport, to dinners, to job interviews, to so many other things. It's countless. We won't be able to go over them all. You've given parental support, which is really just code language for you've become a mom to our students, hundreds of them from around the world. When I was in Indonesia recently, I had numerous students who would say, "How is Rose?" Really, around the world, there are people who think of you like family, like a mom. You are a giving, generous, and selfless person, and we can all learn from you. And you've become a friend to me in the short time that I've been here, a year and a half. Thank you for that, and thank you for being a model employee. You've been a pleasure to supervise. You don't really need supervision. Sometimes you supervise me. Sincerely, though, you've left us in a very good space. If you think about the fact that you've been here virtually the whole time this white building has been here, you've left us in a really good place. And Ron is here today, too, and I just want to acknowledge, I remember thinking, Ron one time said to me, Ron at one point said to me, I won't do his accent, but it's really tempting to try, but I just hope, I want to bring back the architects to show them the building, to show them how we've kept it up. And if you look at this space, it's almost like a museum piece, but a used one. We use it every day, and yet it still looks like it was when it was built in 1938. It's been kept clean, it's been repainted. There's probably 25 coats of paint on the walls around us. Ron has always done so with Rose's help. Thank you for leaving this space in such good shape. Thank you for caring about budgets. If only everybody in our world cared about places as if they are their own. You've really cared for this place as if it's your own. We've decided we need 3 people to replace you. No, seriously, we've mapped it out. We actually do need 3 people to replace you. Retirement parties often kind of, in the words of my beloved trustee who will be up here in a moment, Frank Resnick, we kind of pile it on. Sometimes it gets a little thick and deep in the room. That's not going to happen today because it's all true. We're not piling it on. It is really true. You really are that person that we're talking about today. I hope today honors you as the person you are, as the employee you are. Congratulations, Rose, on retirement. But more importantly, congratulations on living a life that's just a model, on a life well lived. Congratulations. Thank you. I would like to call on Frank Resnick, who will speak on behalf of the trustees. Frank is a long-serving trustee here, and we're going to have to adjust this down.
I knew that was happening. Well, thank you. Again, my name is Frank Resnick, and as a trustee, speaking for the board, and as a chairman of the Building and Grounds Committee, it really is a privilege for me to recognize and acknowledge Rose on her retirement from the seminary. For a good part of the 38 years, she has served as the seminary's Director of Administration and Facilities. While it may be a bit reflective of the institution itself, unlike many with that title, however, I do not think it accurately reflects the scope of work that she did. There was little sitting around and directing anyone or anything, except perhaps Ron, a work study student, but instead she was always doing. As I looked through my files from working with Rose, I found this report that I shared with her at one time. It says, "Doing more with less, facilities management solutions for improving operational effectiveness on a limited budget." That may be a good descriptive measurement of Rose's career. As the old adage goes, look up work ethic in the dictionary, and there's a picture of Rose. She is the epitome of hard work and dedication. Well beyond facilities management and the deferred maintenance issues that I worked on most closely with her, I don't think I could describe or list all the things that I know Rose has done at the seminary. Joel listed some of them certainly, but as he mentioned, Rose has worked the entire life of this iconic Meyer building and managed numerous internal renovations and the challenge of the exterior porcelain restoration. Some of you go out and try to find somebody that's going to restore porcelain. But there's a lot more. Depending on how you count them, there are 17 other seminary buildings she's had to know and care for. And when it comes to understanding the physical plant, stealing the old Thomas English Muffins expression, Rose knows and has been in every nook and cranny. And from having toured some of the basements, trust me, there are plenty of nooks and crannies. She's developed expertise in watershed management of the North Branch of the Park River, and she knows how to remove asbestos from dirt. She is skilled in active shooter training and fire safety and emergency preparedness and response plans. She knows HVAC systems, snow removal contracting, and where all of our underground sewer lines are. She has managed our student, faculty, and visitor housing and done plenty of custodial setups for rental events. She has a contact list, I hope Ian has found it already, for every repair or replacement service we could ever have. And oh yeah, how about purchasing of equipment, furniture, and commodities, and inventory control? And I dare say she has tagged more keys than all of us in this room together. I could go on, but the shrimp will get cold. So. Although I'm retired, sort of, my wife says, throughout my careers at the Mandel Jewish Community Center and Central Connecticut State University, before that, I had the opportunity, and I would say the good fortune, of knowing and working with many operations and maintenance personnel. Rose is the cream of the crop. The Hartford Seminary has been extremely fortunate to have had Rose to rely on. I believe that an important measurement of one's career is whether it made a difference that you were here. It has clearly made a difference that Rose Lezak was here. So today, with some sadness, I want us to give recognition to Rose for all of her years of dedicated service and aggravation. I'm sure she didn't miss the early morning calls related to the recent snowstorms, but otherwise I'm sure she'll remain easily reachable for other questions. I'm sure, too, we will see her and Marvin around from time to time visiting, but for now, I say farewell, my friend, and best wishes and much happiness in the new phase of your life. You deserve it.
You'll be working as me peeking through the window.
No, you won't.
On behalf of staff, I'd like to call up Lorraine Brown.
I met Roseann 12 years ago when I came in for an interview. She was the director of human resources at the time. I remember instantly feeling at ease because of Roseann's warm and welcoming personality. Thank you for hiring me, Roseann. It's a really good decision. Yeah. Yes, one of your best, I agree. You have always exuded great qualities, a deep sense of commitment to your family and the seminary, enthusiasm, lots of energy, kindness, and building community. On behalf of the entire staff, thank you for being you, and we'll miss you.
There aren't many people here that have served as long as Rose, but we found one. I'd like to invite faculty member M.T. Winter to speak on behalf of faculty. Thank you.
So am I. Thank you. Everything you said about Ro is true. She is the most amazing, competent person on planet Earth, I think, in my estimation. And you've hinted at the other side of her, which I know oh so well. This woman who can do just about anything has done just about everything for any person in need. Through the years, we go all the way back. I go before this building was built. She comes shortly after. And we traveled together through the years when her beloved children were babies, crying because they were babies, not because of this moment. Went through all kinds of things in your own life and in the world, and that's not going to end, Rose. So I'm just letting people know that you have a heart as big as the Pacific Ocean, anyone in need, any need coming along, Roe is there to do something about it. I don't know how many turkeys got to how many tables on Thanksgiving through the years, how many women in shelters were helped, how many the wonderful things you're doing now for the whole gun control thing that you're doing, all of these things. So I thank you for that, and I know that will go on. So I wrote just something for you, and then we're going to sing something, a little ditty, okay? I think we're going to, it's like a fun thing. Ode to Roseann Lezak. You have pushed beyond the boundaries of who and when and where. The deepest part of who you are has always met you there. The wounded one, the down and out, every now and then was welcomed with a warm embrace and could begin again. Yours the touch that heals and holds a promise of shalom. Yours the smile that signifies so clearly, welcome home. How blessed am I to have you, Ro, as sister and as friend. Now dance into a future filled with rainbows without end. So now we have a little ditty. Song is Coming Round the Mountain. Anybody has a paper, or one or two of us actually know this. We practiced once or twice. And the opening line is Rosie the Riveter. Remember Rose the Riveter, who was so significant in another situation? Well, Rosie the Riveter is kind of symbolic of who she has been for us right here in this place. So, unrehearsed, and for whatever comes out, this is it. Rosie the Riveter, here, here. Officially you are a pioneer. You have been with us for ages through our transition stages and have helped us keep our wits year after year. Making campus rounds day after day. Keeping things ship-shape in every way. A proverbial fixer-upper who can cook a super supper. We say thank you with a group. Hip, hip, hooray! Hooray! Ro loves baking cream puffs in a pan. Dancing until daylight when she can. She's an advocate for mercy for all those treated adversely. Loving kindness is where all her deeds began. Rose, we thank you here today. Flourish in the years ahead, we pray. You have made our burdens lighter, made our world a little brighter. And we bless you as we send you on your way.
Molly, she's a chicken, a feeling jolly, she's a moving along with electric. She's so good, don't wanna lose it. It's electric. Woogie, woogie, woogie. But you can't use it. It's electric. Woogie, woogie, woogie. But you know it's there. Heaven and everywhere. You can't see it. It's electric. Woogie, woogie, woogie. You gotta feel it. It's electric. Woogie, woogie, woogie. Ooh, it's shocking. It's electric. Woogie, woogie, woogie. Dig it up, it's like Nelly with that bubbling at the belly. She's a moving along with electric. She's so good. You gotta know it. It's electric. Woogie, woogie, woogie. That you can't hold it. It's electric. Woogie, woogie, woogie. But you know it's there. Heaven and everywhere. Hola, hola, hola. Donde, donde lo. Hola, hola, donde, donde lo. Hola, donde, donde lo.
So I'm Roseann's daughter. She asked me to read something.
Oh, yeah,
Step
that's
aside.
perfect time. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is a perfect time. All those pictures, I'm going to cry. So this morning I woke up feeling very nostalgic because I grew up here, and people of our generation Facebook these feelings. So that's what I did. So here's what I wrote, and this is all about the seminary minus the academia, minus the religion. This is what the seminary meant to us as a family. So today is a big day. My mother, Roseann Lezak, is retiring from the Hartford Seminary after 38 years. We were raised there. It was our home. It still is. If I could live here, I would. We celebrated every single milestone from our family here, and together we got to celebrate, today we get to celebrate a woman whose choice of jobs as a single mother so long ago turned into an entire way of life that we can all be proud of. Growing up here was a privilege that shaped the person that I am today. It was a community that will never be found again. Relationships were formed, people influenced us without even knowing the effects they had on us kids, the whole neighborhood of kids. I sell books today because of a woman named Jackie Lard, who was the first person to run the seminary bookstore, and I wanted to be like her. My brother and I ran around every nook and cranny of that building, I think we get it from her, and the neighborhood. The neighborhood was filled with seminary, staff, faculty, and they all looked out for all of us. I think I babysat for most of them. Everyone from the housekeeping staff, Catherine, to the early presidents, Dillenberger, Ryan, BBZ, we treated each other equally, we respected, appreciated. Only a handful of people remember that perfect time. When stars align and a thing becomes almost holy. A better childhood could not be found. My mother came to the seminary as an adult, we came as children. We were formed here, we absorbed the absolutely incredible atmosphere of what is officially a school of theology, but to us was unofficially a utopia. I hope the future of the seminary touches a new generation of kids that are lucky enough to learn the true meaning of humanity and community. I also hope that my mother can now relax and enjoy her free time. And not to forget anybody, I have to mention that long ago, there was an official Hartford Seminary mascot. Her name was Tootsie, and she was a mini dachshund, and she ran this whole place. So I wrote that, but the thing is, a lot of our neighborhood friends commented and remembered lots of that time and sent out memories to my mother and good wishes, and we grew up together, and they moved away, and we all kind of stayed around, and it affected a lot more than the people that are in this building. So that's my mom.
Thank you so much for that, and we're going to have a little bit of time in a minute for anyone else that would like to add a word or two, and of course for Rose to respond. We do have some official, very official things that we need to do at this time. We have a couple of things that we'd like to give you, and one thing we'd like to unveil that we hope will symbolize your hard work here and really honor the work that you've done here, Rose. First, though, I would like to give just a little memento that you can hopefully keep. There's a card here from staff. Oh. Well, let me say something first, if I may, just about the, when we did approach Rose about what can we do that would, how do you honor 38 years of service? And I think it's very telling that for her, she wanted to give back to the staff here at this place that really, as you could hear from her daughter, formed her family, formed her, but also she helped shape. And so her wish was to create some kind of fund that would, in perpetuity, feed out enough money to put on a lunch every year for staff. And her one rule was the staff are not allowed to actually do things at this. They just need to be able to show up and eat. No setup, no cleanup, all of those things that she has done all of these years and she sees her fellow staff do. And so we together devised a way with Karen's help. Karen, thank you for helping with this. She's already raised a good chunk of the money we hope to raise. We're hoping to get to $25,000. If you would like to give to that, there is a little pitch here, just whatever you can give in Rose's honor. And as you can see, this is...
Your mother and father, grandparents.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. We shouldn't restrict people from giving, but we would love to see Rose honored through this. Let's get this up to $25,000. Let's honor her wishes that the staff receive a lunch each year. And also it's an opportunity for us each year to say you've reached a 5-year milestone, a 10-year milestone, a 15-year milestone, and to acknowledge that. We don't do that currently. I think it's a very important way to signal. We have people, I'm looking around, seeing how long some of you have served. We need to celebrate that. This is a wonderful place. I have a small memento here that I'd like to present to you, Rose. Could you come forward for this? It's just a little sign of our appreciation. We have something else that's a little bigger, but it's a little sign, and it says, "Thank you, Roseann Lezak, for your 38 years of service to Hartford Seminary." So thank you so much.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that's beautiful. Marvin, this is a little bit bigger than that, right? Oh, this is lovely. I really do love it. Thank you.
Here's a card for you from the staff and faculty of this place. Do you want me to help you with that? There you go. Got a PhD. I think I can figure this out. There you go.
Thank
There
you.
you go. There's that.
That goes in that hutch. In my
Yes, that's a card for you.
Thank you.
We have flowers for you that Susan will give you.
Thank you so much. I love it.
And probably the most important thing that we'd like to present to you today is really a symbol, I think, of Rose's service. And I don't know if there's anything that we could possibly present to you that would more symbolize your hard work here. And so it's under this blue. I wonder if Frank could help me.
Is it a function somehow?
So for those who are not in on the joke, if you only knew the countless, countless hours that Rose has been involved in making sure that this building has survived through storms in the middle of the night with Ron's help and others, but she has been attending hours and hours to sump pumps, and I'm hopeful that this is the last time that you have to deal with a sump pump, and this you will always remember Hartford Seminary. Thank you, Rose.
I love it. It's going to be a win. Okay, make a win.
So before we have two more things. Before Rose says a few words, I would like to invite, I know an open mic can be a little dangerous, but I think in this moment we're going to take that risk. I'd like to open it up to those who would like to say a short thank you, maybe a short memory, a way to honor Rose. Some of you have worked with her years ago and worked a long time with her. So please, or for family members, if there's anyone who would like to say something, I would like to open it up for you, especially we have a past president here who's, I'd love to, he sounds like he'd like to come up. Please, Mike Ryan.
I just would echo what people have said, but there's an element of your character, Rose, I don't think we've talked about. And this story reflects badly on me, but wonderfully on you. When I was president, I came back from a meeting one day, and we had to let go of a secretary. And Roseann and a couple of the people were comforting this young woman at the end of the day. And I walked by and went to my office. I didn't say a word. Roseann, who hadn't been to seminary all that many years, came into my office the next day and chewed me out for being so, insensitive. And that kind of character and courage was just incredible. Plus, she had a handkerchief and she gave me back a whole bunch of tissues. But that's Rose in a nutshell. She cared for that person, and she wasn't going to let me get away with that. Thank you, Rose.
So I got to meet Rose sometime in the 1990s, I want to say, and you'd know better because it was the year you met and fell in love with Marvin Janow, I believe. Ah, yes. Because Rose was participating in one of the programs that we run at Leadership Greater Hartford. By the way, my name is Ted Carroll. I serve as the president and CEO of Leadership Greater Hartford. It's been our pleasure to get to know Rose, and through Rose we get to know Marvin, and through Marvin some of my wife's paintings have been beautifully framed, and so we have enjoyed a wonderful relationship with you. I will just offer that at Leadership Greater Hartford, we simply say that leadership is all about giving the best you have to the work of a group and helping others to do the same. You have epitomized that definition so beautifully over so many years. We want to thank you for that. And Jane and I in particular wanted to thank you with some of her art. Here are some cards for you.
It's nice to be able to look back. I don't mean in generations, just look back at the audience. You're used to it. I'm not. Well, 25 years ago, or just about, I met Rose. And she has such beautiful blue eyes that she riveted me right into place. It's like my feet got welded to the floor. And I wanted to see her again. I asked her for her phone number, and we started to date, and she introduced me to the seminary. And it's been a wonderful experience. I've never had an argument with anybody here over anything. It's been a great number of years just thinking about what's going on here, what's going on in our home. Quite often she would come home and tell me a story about something that was in her job, and what was going on, and, that the sump pump didn't work, or, had to call Ulvi, the electrician, in the middle of the night and say, Ulvi, you got to get there first thing in the morning. Well, Ulvi always did, and plumbers and all the work people and the internal work people. I know many nights our phone would ring at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, startle the heck out of us, and we'd jump up. But it was always Rose who was the person to call, no matter what it was. We tell this funny story. We took a cruise, excuse me, to Alaska, and we were stepping off of the boat, and her foot, she had hurt her foot. She twisted it, but she just got off, took 2 steps, and her cell phone rang. We're in Alaska. Leave us alone. Give us 10 minutes, No, phone had a ring. There's a screw loose. There sure is. And many, many, many things like that. Just simple little things, but she was there to console the person who might not have heat in their apartment or hot water or whatever it was. She was there to tell them it will be fixed. You will have success. And she's always been able to do that. There's days that I come home and I'm not running at peak performance. And 15 minutes later, and between the two of us, we have never done drugs of any sort, but we're like happy, and it's because of her. So I'm blaming my happiness on you, and I wish you another 38 years with me. That's all.
Dividing us for 20 years.
It was
at
more
least,
than that.
Right? More than that. My mother was Cheryl's maid of honor. Then Cheryl, I am unmarried, let's preface that. Then Cheryl's daughter got married, and I was her maid of honor, and now I'm going to be her baby's godmother. She doesn't know that yet. So the Wiggins family to us is just as important as the seminary, if not more.
And Roseann is my son's
Oh,
godmother.
correct, yes. And Roseann is Warren's godmother.
But I've known Roseann for those entire 38 years. There's things I know about Roseann that Marvin doesn't know about Roseann. I've been here first. So, it has been a pleasure working with you this entire time. Know that we will always be here for you. We will definitely miss you. The parties won't stop. Anytime everybody sneezes, let's have a party, okay? 3 songs Roseann must have: Electric Slide, Cupid Shuffle, Macarena, one more, the Chicken Dance, okay? But as everybody says, Roseann does know the ins and outs of this building, every little thing. And I will still be calling you working or not, okay? Because there's, But I just want you to know we love you and we're definitely going to miss you, even though we don't see you as often as everyone else in this building. But I know. So thank you.
Well, it's a little bit difficult for somebody who is a non-English native speaker to come forward after all the English people speak their English. Or you will have to forgive my accent. I try to speak like an American, but I cannot. My name is Ezekiel. I used to be a student here, and I left here for studies elsewhere. And Roseann has been the one that I worked with and Ron. And while I was working with them, I called them the main engine of Hartford Seminary. Before coming to Hartford Seminary, I used to serve in the military in my country. I have never done any of this handyman job. And so one day in the library, when I was seated, Roseann was passing and she said, "You are going to be the resident assistant. Meet me in my office." And then I told myself, I said, wait, I left the military. Do they still give orders in the seminary? And so I went upstairs and I met her. Since then, my life completely changed. Changed in the sense that Roseann does not give you instructions and allow you to carry the instructions. She'll follow you behind with the instructions again and again. And if there is anything that I love about Roseann, and I asked her one time, I said, so wait, if you retire, how do you think you can survive with the way you run helter-skelter, you want everything perfect? There was a day we were painting with Ron, and I made a mistake. And Ron said, no, just correct this thing. I said, hey, this white woman will not understand. He said, it is because you don't know who Roseann is. And true to it, I told Ron I'm going to repair it, but I didn't. True to it, when Roseann came with her clipboard, and she looked up and she said, you know, we need to change this particular place. And then I said, damn it. I didn't know this woman can figure this particular thing. Roseann, you've touched my heart, my life in so many ways. Back home, before coming here, my mom told me that, you know, because my background is I come from a religious minority environment where I suffered discrimination and. So my mother warned me and she said, when you come here, when you leave your dorm, you go to class, you go back home, don't relate with anybody. And I said, okay, no problem. So on coming to this place, I met so many people that I had to call her one day. She called me over the phone and I told her I am, what is that thing that we do? Clearing the leaves, blowing the leaves. Yes, with a blowing machine. And then she said, what are you doing with blowing the leaves? Then I said, well, it's part of what I'm doing on campus. Who asked you to do it? I said, it is a woman called Roseann. She is like an angel. And I shared so many stories about her to my people back home, about how she touched our lives, and so many things that she does. Because I told them, I met an angel. And that angel at Hartford Seminary is Roseann, who taught me so many things. Because of the handiwork that she taught me how to do here, I didn't know how to do all these things. But I have to establish something back home that is like a motivating youth to train themselves in vocation, not necessarily just education, but vocation to help their lives. Oh, about the keys. Somebody said something about the keys here. I worked with Roseann for one semester. This woman gave me the whole keys of this seminary to rearrange. That affected my writing because anytime I am writing, I'm thinking of key numbers on my head. Roseann, thank you so much. Truly appreciate working with you, and you've been a very wonderful person. I will never miss you. I was supposed to go to Afghanistan. Remember I told you for my research? I had to cancel it. I begged my supervisor to allow me stay behind, and then I'll meet them in Nigeria for their research, purposely to enable me honor Roseann because of the tremendous and wonderful effect that she has on my life. Thank you so much.
My name is Chantel, and I've been working here for a year and a half. I asked my daughter if it was okay to read the card that we got for Roseann. It's not a retirement card, it's basically a thank you card. It says, it takes a special kind of person to care enough to take the time for others to do whatever it takes to help somebody out. Roseann, congratulations on all your achievements this far. I wish you great luck during your retirement. I pray for great relaxation and rejuvenation. Also, thank you so much for everything you did for me thus far. I truly appreciate your blessed and kind gestures. Good luck. Love, Jewel Canino. Roseann, thank you for your warm welcome when I started at the seminary. Thank you for your daily smiles. Thank you for your funny stories. Thank you for opening your heart to me and my daughter, Jewel. Thank you for your sincere acts of kindness. Thank you for the emotional support. Most importantly, thank you for being a true friend and co-worker. Chantel. Roseann, for everything you have done, for everything you have given, thank you. I know you.
And it's a welcoming, you've always been welcome, you've always been inclusive, you've always been, open arms, and that is one thing I'm going to miss now that you're gone. So visit often, and then I'll get updates from Marge with you too. So thank you.
I've known Roseann for almost as many years as she's been here, but I was also a resident on campus for 29 years. Roseann was always juggling all of the contractors, et cetera, and there was this one occasion, and I can't even remember which apartment I was living in at the time, she had coordinated with 2 different bathroom outfitters to come visit the seminary, and she forgot to tell me about it. I was in the shower when she showed up with the 2 men and entered the bathroom, and I started screaming the house down. Now, normally, she was very responsive to all your problems. You said the carpet needed shampooing, it got done. The refrigerator isn't working, it got replaced. But just that one time.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ron Malcolm. I'm the former facility maintainer for 18 years. I met Roseann for the job that I saw it in the paper, and when I get here, she interviewed me and everything. I didn't know I was going to get the job. So about a week, she called me and said, see me in her office, a certain time, et cetera. It's 18 years now, I don't remember everything. But anyway, she said, I called Jamaica, my former employee in Jamaica, and they told her she must ship me back to Jamaica. My job is there waiting on me. And I said, no, I'm not going back to Jamaica. I'm here, I like here. And we're going for 18 years, working. Each morning she came in, I have my plan, what I'm going to do, so and so. And she said, okay, go ahead. Sometimes she said, no, Ron, there's some emergency. We have to do this first. So on and on and on, we shift to emergency, then go back to the plan. And for 18 years, I can say, we never ever have any fuss. No, everybody, both of us work together like wife and husband, right, Marvin? We work together. She understands me, I understand. We never fuss. We just have things going. The work after done, we just get in and get it done. And I said, Roseann, it's all done. She said, right on it, done. Whatever, D or something. And we operate, no problem. Thanks, Roseann.
Two important words. Yes. Yes, dear.
So yesterday, I had my 38th anniversary, and so I know 38 years is a hell of a long time. It's been a wonderful 20-some years working with you, for sure. My favorite story, many stories about Roseann, Rose, whatever we want to call her. But one time, the Institute building has a problem with squirrels. They just love the building. And I had a corner office, and there was a little baby squirrel that got into my office. So I'm there, I think Ron's there, there are 3 or 4 other guys there, we all have gloves on, we're doing stuff. And Roseann comes running in, says, a baby squirrel. She just picks it up and takes it out. And all of us are like, what? Yes, that's exactly right. So they were all criminals, you know. They went to shoot it, but they didn't want to pick it up, nor did I. I mean, it just exemplifies what Roseann does. But, you know, I mean, I think what sticks with me and what will always stick with me, when my mother passed, I realized about her that I had never heard her say a bad word about anybody. And I never knew another person like that except for Roseann. I have never heard an unkind word from her.
Well, talk to her in private.
Well, yeah, and I'm not married to her either, so. But I mean, it really has been amazing because we've shared some really tough times at certain points, and in all that time, I said plenty of nasty things, but I never heard any unkind word, and it's just an amazing thing. So you've been busy and you've active and all of those things, but you are just an amazing, genuine person who loves everybody, I think. So thank you.
Last call. Anyone? Margie? Do you want to say something?
Margie's gonna take over the room. I'm just saying how that. All the years that we worked together here.
All the years my sister and I worked together here, we probably had lunch maybe twice together. We almost never saw each other, but I was always comforted, and I hope she was too, to know she was just up there. So if there was ever anything I needed, I could always go to her and she could come to me. But I'm always going to see her some.
That was to make up for all the years when we were kids and people would, here she goes. I was a little I would cry every day. And I'd go get Marge. She'd come down.
Just pause for a moment, if you can or will, to reflect on the beautiful diversity of voices that we've heard from, the rich sense that we have as people, different people in whose lives you've all touched, Rose. I think this is a huge testimony to who you are, to what Hartford Seminary is, but also I don't want to underestimate what you've brought to this place and how you have shaped this place to become who we are and the wonderful place that we get to work at, that you've lived here, that you've brought such a community to this space. I mean, there's all the it's just really a gift. So thank you for that, and also for helping us to keep laughing. Laughter is such an important part of what it means to be human. It's something I work it doesn't take too much, but I work quite hard at trying to teach my daughter about laughter. It's important to love people. I think laughter shows a love for the other person. So thank you for bringing laughter into our lives. Thank you for what you've brought to this space. We'd love to hear from you now, Rose, to close our evening off. So let's welcome Rose Lezak properly.
Well, I think I'm going to have to read too, because this has been a very, very emotional time for me. The most important thing I have to say is thank goodness this is my last day, because I could never live up to the tribute that you just gave me. So thank you for that. So in my retirement letter, I said to Joel that having him here makes it less difficult to leave. And I'm finding out that it really doesn't. As much as I'm so thrilled that you're here as the new leader of the seminary, it is not easy to do this by any means. Some people recently have said to me, well, how are you feeling now? I said, well, when I come in, I don't want to go because there's a lot of things to do. I have to finish up. But when I'm home, more and more and more, I really just don't want to come in. So I think it's just about time that this is the right time for us. It's a sign that I've finished our priorities that I plan to do. We have the capable hands of Ann, is Ann here? Ann, and Andy, and Awad, and the trustees, and the staff, and the faculty, like everything is just melding together, and the place is getting warm and fun again. You're right about laughter. I have to teach you a little bit more about parties because we've had some wild parties in here. I'm also proud to say that I've been here as long as the Meyer building. The building, not I, has had many facelifts to look this good. It looks like I might be next. We'll see. Long ago, it was in Leadership Greater Hartford that I described Hartford Seminary as the oasis of the world, saying that if everyone here behaved as we do, there'd be no wars, there'd be no hunger. Later on, I added that, like any island oasis, there are times of sunshine and there are times of stormy weather. But this has been still the very best place to be. I truly, truly do cherish every single one of you, every single memory, and as much as people are saying that I transformed things and I was wonderful, let me tell you how I was molded by each and every one of you here, and those who are not here today. Everyone that I've met have come through. The parties we had in the backyard playing volleyball, the homeless people that came and had Thanksgiving with us, the international students that shared their traditions and came and joined in with us, or we went to their homes for things like jellyfish stew and little sand crabs for Chinese New Year. You just learn so many things about people. So you're all a part of me, I'm all a part of you, and you're not going to get rid of me. So thank you all. I love you all. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.